I've been getting a lot of comments about budget planners. And while there are many good options out there on Amazon, I thought, what is a good combination of budget planning and customization? The answer is very simple: bullet journaling. So let's get right to it. The best thing about bullet journals is that you can use either a completely ruled paper, or you can use completely blank notebook, or you can use, which is my personal favorite, a dot grid notebook. I feel like the dot grid notebooks are the most versatile kind of notebooks because you can have like a structure and you can easily customize them however you want. This is the stationery kit that I will be using to create my spreads, and you have seen this in a previous video. I will link that video as well. So this stationery kit is the Flair Write More kit, and if you are somebody who doesn't really have a lot of stationery and doesn't know where to start, you can use this kit and just any notebook and get started in making your own bullet journal. So we are first going to work on the nameplate page, and it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. I am just writing 2026 like in bubble letters. It's not even very symmetric. It doesn't have to be. It is your planner. You can decorate it how you want to. Just making some squiggly lines here and there. I'm not even coloring it, and I'm using the click pencil that came in the kit. Took me like under 5 minutes to make this page. Looks kind of artsy and very low maintenance. Next, the best thing about dot grid is that you can actually measure out the dots to make all of your boxes of equal width and height. And I like that kind of symmetry, so that's why I'm doing that. Of course, there is no pressure on you, but this is what bullet journalers call the yearly log. So here I am just going to draw out 12 boxes for the 12 months of the year, and I will be putting in really like important dates or tasks, or maybe if there's a trip coming up, that sort of a thing would be used for this spread. It is really simple. All you have to do is draw 12 boxes, write down the names of the months. There are many ways, and if you don't even want a yearly log, that's also fine. Some people I've seen just split every page into 4 quadrants and use that as a quarter and just use 3 pages for their yearly log. Next, I'm going to start off with January, and this is just an example, of course. So what I would do, and this is the level 2 version of a spread. So what I would do first is do the goals bit, right? And then I have a lot of like memo pads and sticky notes and things like that. So I want to make use of them, and that is kind of a low effort way, but also it only works if you have these items already. So I actually have a lot of sticky notes and stuff which I can use, which just saves me the trouble of drawing out these boxes, because that's just how I want my planner to look. So I'm using these little memo pads for the goals bit, and I am using these trackers which are 1 to 30 on it. You can write what habit you're doing for that month. If I wanted a grid and I didn't have these notepads, then I would probably have to draw it out by hand, which is of course more effort. So this is low effort but heavy stationery. When you're happy with how it all looks, just paste them in. Super simple, right? It what takes under 10 minutes to get this done. In case you do not have these kind of items, also, I have other options. So the next thing what you have to do is called the monthly log in bullet journal language. And just the most simple way of doing a monthly log is writing a vertical list of all of the dates of the month. And parallelly, along like the left margin, I would also write down all the days of the month corresponding to that day. So here we are just doing it for January, so I would just do that. Other ways of doing the monthly spread would be to make that entire grid like you see in planners, like across 2 pages with the squared boxes for each of the days. You can do that as well. Again, that is more of a level 2 version. It is more effort, but if that's the kind of layout that you like, why not? And the best thing about doing a bullet journal is that you can switch it up every month, and finally you can land on a kind of spread that works for you. Now here is the level 1 version of the habit tracker. When you do your monthly tracker, you just make a couple of columns for the habits that you do want to track. And here I will just write down a couple of my habits that I want to track, like workout, diet, or whether I've studied or not. And simply against the day of the week, you will do a cross or a tick as and when you have followed it. The next bit is the weekly tracker, wherein you write down all your tasks. Now this method is a little complicated, but I find it most convenient to do all the task tracking for the entire week in one go. So here all you have to do is keep like a wide column on the left for all of your tasks. On the right, divide the space into 7 columns for Monday through Sunday for your entire week. And I am just writing the key on top over here because that's just the key that I am using for the tasks in my bullet journal. I will not be using it throughout the planner. If you plan to use a key throughout the planner, like then it is recommended that you put the key with the nameplate section, like where we wrote 2026. That is where you would write the key, because on the first page it would be easy to reference. So here all I'm doing is writing that a empty circle is basically not done, a half-filled circle is partially done, and a complete circle would be done. And the best part about this kind of a spread is you just write the all of the tasks that you have to do for that particular week. For example, pay bills. I have just colored the dot on Monday, which means on Monday I have paid the bills that I have to pay. Now sign up for course. So on Monday, I was supposed to do it, but I didn't. So that circle is empty. And Tuesday circle is filled, which means on Tuesday, I did it. Then we have complete module 1. So it has like a partially filled circle from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Thursday it is finally filled. So this is like module 1 took 4 days to complete. You put on Friday. Lunch with friends is on Saturday, and grocery shopping on Sunday. So this way is actually very convenient to do any kind of weekly task tracking, because you write down all your tasks in one go, and depending on when you have time in the week, you just fill in the circle corresponding to that particular column for that task. What it saves you from is, usually when you are doing bullet journaling, you keep say 1 page for every day, or maybe half a page for every day. And sometimes the task doesn't get completed on that day. You have to keep moving it whenever you write down for your next day's tasks. This way, this saves you a lot of time and effort in just continuously moving your tasks through the week. Sometimes one task will be moved from one week to another, but it is more likely that a task will move within a week rather than between weeks. I love this method. I think it is called the Alistair method, and it is super convenient. So that's pretty much it. However you want to design your spreads, as complicated or as simple as you would like to. And if you can get hold of some like quick sticky notes or notepads or like tracker stickers or things like that, it just makes the work easier. And you can also mix and match and see what is the kind of layout that works best for you. And yeah, let me know if this video helped you. I would love to know if you guys are making your own bullet journals. Please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.